Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
From Studio A in sunny Florida, welcome to Beauty and the Beach Radio, where it's all about who's beautifying Vero Beach. Today's show is brought to you by Dale Sorensen Real Estate. And here's your host and glamour girl, makeup artist, Cindy Goetz.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. We missed you. We hope you had a great week. And you know what? If you didn't, stay tuned. We might be able to help you. So I have a question for you, okay? So how many of you, all right, want to unbattle, okay? Or maybe unclash, unconflict, uncombat, unstrife, untrial, okay? Or maybe many of you would like to unstruggle, okay? Maybe you're ready to unstruggle. Well, guess what? I have an unbelievable guest with us today who's going to help you unstruggle. You guys, we're talking about mental health, and during the holidays, mental health illness soars. It is a time of wonderful happiness, but it's a time for sadness and awfulness as well. And just want to read you a couple statistics because it's a terrible thing that people struggle with. In 2019 and 20% guys of adults were experiencing a mental illness. Okay, you guys, that's an equivalent to over 50 million Americans. The vast majority of individuals with substance abuse or a substance abuse disorder in the U.S., they are not receiving treatment. 5% of adults in the U.S. experience serious thoughts of suicide, totaling over 12 million individuals, okay? And then over 1 in 10 youth, you guys, in the U.S. are experiencing depression that is severely impairing their ability to function at school, work, home, family, or even in their social life. These are real numbers, you guys. These are real people struggling, and we do want to help them unstruggle. With us today, our guest, he is a licensed clinical social worker. He is executive director of the Mental Health Collaborative of Indian River County. Please welcome our guest, first time on Beauty and the Beach Radio, Brett Hall.
Thank you for having me here today.
Hey, Brett, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, so help my guests get off to a great start. So,
okay.
I threw out some statistics, but let's get back to the basics. What exactly is mental health?
All right. Well, mental health, as we know, mental wellness is maybe another better term for that. How well that we're functioning in our world, at work, with our families, in our relationships, and how much joy we are getting out of our life. And as with everything, mental wellness is on a spectrum. So I always put, I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a therapist. I have a small private practice. And I talk to my patients about where they're at on the spectrum, right? So let's just put everything on a 0 to 10 scale. So, I fortunately don't live with a lot of depression, but nobody's really not ever having a bad day. So I would put myself on the really low scale, maybe 1.5. But there are times when I get up to a 3 or a 3.5, and I know that that's different for me. So the point I'm trying to make is everything's on a spectrum: depression, anxiety, how we're managing and navigating our world. And when we are off and we are not doing our best, that's what's different for us. So there is nobody that's absolutely depressed or not depressed. There is nobody that's completely anxious or not anxious, So think of mental wellness as, where am I at on that scale? How am I doing for me? And how has that changed? And if my numbers are going up, what's going on that's causing my numbers to go up? And how can I bring that back down? So mental health is all about mental wellness. The two biggies are obviously depression and anxiety. And we all have moments that we have some depression and some anxiety. Depression is really not getting enjoyment out of the things that normally give us enjoyment. Work, hobbies, family, those kinds of things. When we're not getting enjoyment, that's depression. Anxiety is that needless worry. We're worrying about things that we cannot control. I always talk to my patients about depression is worrying about the past and anxiety is worrying about the future, right? So if we can frame it like that. So we do need to remember the past. The past is a history book that is very important. We need to learn from, but we can't dwell on it. We need to move forward. Life is about moving forward. Anxiety is about planning for and worrying about the future. We need to plan for the future, but I can't work 6 months out, 6 years out all the time. So when folks are struggling, I always tell them to close that lane down. What happened yesterday that I can impact today and make today the best today I can? And what can I do today to make tomorrow the best I can? So
I love that.
Narrow your lane down a little bit.
Narrow that lane. I love that.
Right.
I love that. I always say, eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Exactly.
It's just bit by bit. And that is more tolerable, I think, for some people, because that anxiety does you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this at the end of the year? How am I going to do this at the end of the month? And you go, okay, let's work on the first 24 hours, maybe.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the scope of mental health in this country. I did throw a few statistics out, and you've probably got way more in your head. But give us that overall idea of what's going on in our country right now with mental health.
Right. So mental health is on the rise, unfortunately, all across the country and across the world. As you mentioned, 1 in 5 people pre-COVID were struggling with a mental health issue, mostly depression and anxiety, but there's some others in there. During COVID, that shot up to 2 in 5. So that doubled.
Whoa.
So we're talking about 40% of the population that are struggling with mostly depression and anxiety.
Wow.
During COVID. COVID did a number on this country. It did a number on the world.
So not only did it shoot up twice, but within the last year,
Absolutely.
This didn't take 10 years to get to. That
Absolutely.
is insane.
And substance use disorders have doubled under COVID.
Wow.
Right? There was a study done by the American Psychological Association, and this was 2020, 2021. So during the peak COVID periods, they interviewed 5,000 kids, I say, 16 to 24. 70% of them reported increase in anxiety and depression. 70% of that group is struggling with depression and anxiety. So COVID has really done a number on that. And then, of course, according to FEMA, the peak of psychological distress will happen 12 to 18 months post-event.
Oh, geez.
So it's worse, and it's going to get even worse than that. So we're hopefully post-event, but we're not 12 to 18 months. So what we have seen, and we've seen that nationally, internationally, and we've seen that locally. So part of my role at the Mental Health Collaborative is managing the operations of the McCabe Connection Center. The McCabe Connection Center is a access point where people can call or walk into and sit down with somebody and really pull apart the different things going on in their life. Mental health, substance use, transportation, housing, vocational, whatever is going on. We can sit and talk to you, and then we can let you know what resources exist that can help you. And we get you connected to those resources. So let me tell you what we have seen with mental health during COVID. We've been doing this for about 6 years, but it has significantly increased. During COVID and post-COVID, most of the people coming to us have never been in a mental health, never seen a therapist before, never initiated a mental health service before. So we've seen lots of people that may have had a couple of struggles over the years, but were able to hold it together. COVID pushed them over the edge where now they really needed to see a professional. So we had more people than ever initiating a mental health service for the first time ever, seeing a psychiatrist or a therapist.
Wow, that is unbelievable.
The providers in town, now the need for the providers and therapists have doubled, but our providers haven't doubled. So how do we manage that?
Yeah.
So we're getting very creative in getting people into mental health treatment, mostly therapy, but absolutely psychiatry too. And what people should know is that psychiatrists are really good at diagnosing and prescribing medications. That's what their role is. Therapists do therapy. So if you don't want to take medication and you're just looking for a diagnosis, I mean, that's what a psychiatrist does. So people come to me and say, I'm depressed, I need to see a psychiatrist. And I say, do you? Let's talk about your level of depression, how mild, moderate, significant, and we'll make some determinations from there. But So you want to take medication and get a diagnosis? No, I don't want to take medication. Well, then don't see a psychiatrist. Some people need to be evaluated just to get their real true level of depression, anxiety, and other things. But most of the things can happen with therapy. And we've got lots of great therapists in town. So we're matching people with therapists. But what we're seeing is the wait list for therapy in town. I mean, pre-COVID, we could get anybody in to see a therapist in 2 weeks. Depending on some different circumstances, you could wait 2 months right now. In Los Angeles County, it's a 6-month wait list to see a therapist, right? So now people are finally recognizing that they're having some issues and want to reach out for help. And now they're saying, oh, no, we're not taking new patients, or we have a 2-month wait list. So what we're doing at the McCabe Connection Center is we are getting them connected quicker than they can just by dialing different providers. And we're putting interim steps in place. So what we can do is I have myself and several retired therapists that will see the people as a foster therapist until they meet their forever therapist.
Did you come up with that? That's brilliant.
Yeah, we did.
I love that.
Yeah. So we have foster therapists in town that will see you, pro bono for free for a few sessions, do some crisis counseling, make sure you can hold it together until you get to your forever therapist.
Time is critical.
Absolutely.
You don't know what their need is and how desperate they are. So, oh my gosh, I love that.
And we're putting them in touch with different support groups, or there's some online services. What COVID did help with is reduce the restrictions around telehealth. So therapy over the video screen is very effective, very efficient, and I can access providers outside of Indian River County. So.
Wow. Oh my goodness. You're really kind of embracing this.
Absolutely.
This is great. This is great. So, you pretty much covered it, but the scope of mental health here in Indian River County, people would go, gosh, we live in paradise. Why wouldn't you have, it's a very wealthy community and, the sun shines all the time. And you think that we're all like living in paradise, but that's not true. Not everybody feels that way. Is that correct?
Right. That's for sure.
Our numbers are up just like anybody else.
Yep. Our population is indicative just like everybody else. So 40% of our folks are struggling right now.
Wow.
And what's different about Indian River County is the providers work together. Now you go to other communities and everyone's competing with each other for patients and they don't talk to each other.
Okay.
Part of what we do at the collaborative is people identify gaps in services, like saying we don't have enough therapists, or we don't have an IOP program, or we don't have this therapy modality. They come to me at the collaborative and say, we have a problem. They explain the problem. I bring the community together to talk with the different providers in town, the funders in town, the different systems, judges, the police, the hospital. We sit together around the table and create solutions to that problem. Really identify the problem. What's the root cause? Can we fix it? What are some models of care? And we create solutions. We find funding in a very generous community to start a program, and then we spin it off. And some recent examples, there's dozens and dozens of examples, but under Ellie McCabe and the McCabe Foundation, they brought the University of Florida's Department of Psychiatry and Addiction Medicine to town. The University of Florida does not operate psychiatry anywhere else in the state of Florida outside of Gainesville, except Vero Beach. So how did we do that? We enticed them with some money and some other initiatives. They're running their community psychiatry fellowship out of Indian River County. So it was a solution we created. Sheriff Lohr at the time and Judge Cox came to us and said, we need a mental health diversion program in Indian River County. We brought people together. We found some money. We started mental health court, where it gets people with mental illness out of jail and into treatment for petty crimes. There's no reason that somebody that was arrested for loitering or public intoxication or et cetera needs to utilize the community's resources in jail.
Wow.
When they just did that because of a mental health or substance use disorder treatment.
Sure. Wow.
So you said, well, in a little investment of money on the front end, does that work? Are we just throwing money at criminals? Well, let me tell you this. So we followed 100 mental health court residents or clients. The year before that, those 100 people committed 780 crimes out of those 100 people. They were in mental health court for a year. They were discharged for a year. That same group of 100 people committed 8 crimes. So a little bit of money on the front end. Imagine all of the resources we saved with the 772 arrests that didn't happen.
Wow.
Right. So we create solutions and programs around that. Mental health court is still up and functioning very well in Indian River County. Through the leadership of the hospital district, they came up, the community came and said, we don't have an intensive outpatient program. And what that is it's a step between outpatient therapy and inpatient treatment at the hospital, like the behavioral health center at Cleveland Clinic. So some funders got together, the Community Foundation, Johns Island Community Service League, the hospital district, and the United Way. 4 funders came together, gave Cleveland Clinic some seed money. They created an IOP program for adolescents to keep them out of the hospital.
Wow.
And it's they run 12 patients at a time, highly successful.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's what the collaborative does. And that doesn't exist in any other community. That's what's different here.
That is amazing. So we're going to have to go to a station break. I can't believe it. It's crazy. But your new campaign, your new mental health awareness campaign, Unstruggle, for those that aren't aware of it, tell us what all that encompasses and maybe everything you just told me.
Sure. Everyone's struggling with something. We all struggle with something either now or somebody in our lives or family members or friends are struggling, or at some point in our life, we're going to struggle. And the point of this campaign is we're all struggling and you don't have to. Mm-hmm. When life is a struggle, getting help shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. Unstruggle.org is the website where you can go to learn about mental health, learn about different treatments, different providers in town. There's a button for I'm struggling. It'll take you to some screening tools, and then it'll give you a list of providers in town. You can go to My Family is Struggling. You can learn how to support them. You can learn more about mental health and how you can talk to them about their mental health challenges. So when life is a struggle, getting help shouldn't be. Let's unstruggle.
Wow, let's do it. I love that. We're going to go to a station break. While we're on break, you guys check it out, unstruggle.org. We'll be right back.
Right now at Sunshine Furniture, it's New Year sale time. We're clearing our warehouses to make room for new styles, and this means you can save on selected in-stock furniture from Lloyd Flanders, Beechcraft, Windward, Riverside, Universal, Capri, Telescope, and more. Sofas, dining sets, patio groups, occasional chairs, cabinets, bedroom sets, tables, lots of pieces on sale for inside and out. At Sunshine Furniture, we have the largest selection of coastal furniture anywhere, including a gallery of Lexington, Tommy Bahama Home, and Universal Coastal Living collections. Visit Sunshine Furniture now for our New Year sale. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com, and don't forget to shop our outlet and sales store just across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day.
One of the most honored musicals of the American theater. Don't miss Men of La Mancha at Riverside Theater. Winner of 5 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, Men of La Mancha is a powerful, funny, and heartbreaking musical. This story celebrates the perseverance of one man who refuses to relinquish his ideals and who is determined to see life not as it is, but as it ought to be. Inspired by the masterpiece Don Quixote. Don't miss Men of La Mancha, now through January 22nd at Riverside Theater. Get tickets at riversidetheater.com.
It's the biggest Frog Leg Festival in the world. Don't miss the Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival, January 19th through the 22nd. Enjoy mouth-watering frog leg and gator tail dishes, browse hundreds of booths for unique gifts, listen to great music, and enjoy fun carnival rides galore. Discover why the Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival is a January tradition. Admission and parking are free. I Think Financial presents the Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival. It gets hoppin' January 19th through the 22nd. Details at froglegfestival.com.
Cindy Goetz, she totally gets it. Oh my gosh, did you see my prom makeup? She so gets it.
Dude, did you see her before and after makeup on Instagram? That makeup girl gets it.
My wedding makeup was so amazing, and my makeup artist, she totally gets it.
My senior photo makeup rocked. She gets it.
You should see her new Facebook profile. Her makeup artist really gets her.
My eye makeup is so on fleek. Thanks, Cindy Goetz.
Cindy Goetz Makeup Artist, 772-633-4030.
She gets it!
Hey guys, welcome Welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. Thanks for being here. We want to thank Dale Sorensen Real Estate. They make sure that we are on air every week and that we get to promote who is beautifying Vero Beach weekly. And guys, if you're buying or selling, give them a call, 772-231-4712. Dale Sorensen Real Estate. We appreciate you. We also appreciate Varietals. They always make sure that we have lovely beverages for our guests. And today, they always pick a wine that is theme oriented. And today is mental health awareness. So Rob and I decided that Conundrum would be a perfect fit. It's a red blend from California because we all are in conundrums. One at some point in our life, and we need people to help us figure out our conundrums. And so Brett, our guest today, is one of those people that can help us get out of our conundrums. So go see them, Varietals and More, and that's Royal Palm Point. They will take care of you. Thank you, Rob and Michelle. All right, we're back. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about unstruggling, which I love that word. Everybody can relate to struggle.
Absolutely.
So some of us go, well, no, I'm not mentally ill, or I don't have mental illness, or, but everyone can relate to struggle.
We're all struggling with something.
We're all struggling with something. So I love your new campaign for mental health awareness, the Unstruggle. So for someone listening right now, Brett, and they've kind of like something they heard today and they're like, wow, I would love to be able to talk to somebody or just get this off my chest, or I'm a little worried. I've been depressed. I don't open my blinds anymore. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to see my friends. Where are you located? Does it cost anything? Do they have to be sent by another doctor? Right. Tell us the process.
Okay. So the McCabe Connection Center, our address is 2345 14th Avenue, Suite 4. We're right across the street from the Historical Society building, the old train station on
the
14th
yellow one.
Avenue, the yellow one down on 14th Avenue. Or you can call us 772-217-3663. And we see about 100 people a month either call in or just walk in. It doesn't cost anything. There is no referral process. Just come talk to us or give us a call and let us know what's going on in your life. We have the opportunity to sit and talk with you about all the different things going on in your life. We can let you know what's available and what we might recommend for you. You are the master. You are the expert on what's going on with you. We can just make recommendations on what exists. And therapy is a really good tool. It's highly successful. Think of everybody has people that they talk to, their mother, their sister, their best friend, their bartender, whomever. But a therapist is somebody that you can really say anything to. And outside of a few examples of imminent risk, that's completely confidential.
Yeah.
You can get some of those thoughts out of your head and really get some perspective on what's going on in your life. And you know what? You're not alone.
And like you said, sometimes just talking, just getting some of that out is the therapy that is needed.
Absolutely.
But you need that one person that you can trust, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to, hit the front page of the newspaper.
Absolutely.
So you do take walk-ins. If somebody hears this today and they're just like, I can't take it anymore, and they just walk in.
Absolutely.
You'll figure it out from there.
We'll figure it out. We do it every day.
Wow.
We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You guys, it is 14th Avenue, 2345. You can't forget that. And just a little fun fact about you that you just divulged over a break, that you did get a little unpaid, or I guess paid, training in college with some therapy. Do you want to tell us?
I did. I was a bartender and a bouncer through undergraduate and graduate school, so I was a therapist in training.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Any advice? We have about 30 seconds left, Brett. Any advice for someone that is listening right now and they just need one word of encouragement? What would you say to them right now?
Unstruggle.
Unstruggle. Okay.
You don't when life is a struggle, getting help shouldn't be. We've been carrying these burdens for a long time, and that doesn't need to happen. Just call out. There's lots of great resources available.
And they're not alone.
And you're not alone.
Yeah. We're all on that scale. It just depends on what number, like you said, right? Whether we're a 1 or a 10 or a 2 or a
Absolutely.
3. So you're not alone, you guys. Brett Hall, he is amazing. Licensed clinical social worker right there at the McCabe Connection Service with McCabe Connection Service. Go see him on 14th Avenue. You guys, make it a great day, and he will beautify your life, and hopefully we did too. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.